Welcome back to Beyond Ball. I'm Tim Bears, local Cleveland sports fanatic, joined by the logo, the coach, and Mr. 90s today, Johnny Fadul. How you doing today, Johnny?
We'd be so well, Haywood's rip's the biggest part I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
But I'd be better if the Cavs didn't just get shelled. But
And that'll be one of the topics we talk about.
I can't think. That was so loud. I want to know if that picked it up.
Maybe.
No, we're not restarting. We're not
So
restarting.
we'll talk about
Go
some
on.
NFL draft, a little bit about the Browns and the draft overall. We'll talk about NBA first round, including the Cavs getting really manhandled these last two games. And then we'll talk about a fun topic, how you like to cook your steak. So, let's get into some NFL draft. Only talk about a few minutes, but focus on the Cleveland Browns. They draft Michael Hall Jr., defensive tackle from the Ohio State University. And then, ironically, his kind of counterpart, Michigan guard Zach Zinter. Interesting story between these two guys. In the last game of the year when we played Michigan, it was Michael Hall who landed on Zinter's leg and broke it.
How crazy is that?
So it's kind of this weird full circle moment. I'm sure Zinter isn't really that thrilled
I was
about
gonna
it.
ask you, do you know what the dynamics are with
I'm
them?
sh-
Are they boys or
I don't think they're
do they hate
boys.
each other?
I don't know if they hate. I mean, it happens, right? And,
Well, yeah, for sure. But they might legit be boys though. We don't know.
Yeah, well, they
Have
better
to
be now.
Yeah.
But I think for the Cleveland Browns, it shows where the franchise is compared to 10 or 15 years ago, where it was okay, we need quarterback, wide receiver, elite offensive tackle. Now we were able to do a draft where it was pretty much a meat and potatoes type draft. You're able to take a defensive lineman who, there's not going to be a lot of pressure on Hall coming right in. He'll be more of a rotational defensive tackle along with Tomlinson, Harris, and Hurst up front. So, I like the pick. He's got a little bit of speed to him. He'll probably play a lot on third down. Put him on the field with Zadarius Miles, him, Harris, and you can really get after the quarterback. So I'm really excited about that. The Zinter pick I'm excited about as well. And I know Browns fans aren't going to want to hear this, but this is a look to next year type pick. Bitonio is getting up there. He's starting to get in his mid-30s. He could be retiring soon. Wyatt Teller, that cap number is getting higher and higher. There's going to be a changing of the guard, per se, in Cleveland, and he's going to be part of that transition.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. But other parts of the draft, I think Atlanta shocking the world and taking Michael Penix Jr.
I was going to ask you what you thought about that. Was that shocking to you? I don't think it's the only thing that I heard that was weird, and you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, is that Penix basically only has one more year on his contract than Kirk does.
Well, it'd be the rookie. Yeah, so essentially, Penix will get that rookie contract, which would be a 4-year guaranteed with a 5th-year option. Cousins is signed for 4 years, right?
Right. So that part of it,
Yeah.
I get it. But on the whole part of this Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, there's 1,000 examples.
Aaron Rodgers,
of
Brett
this.
Favre.
Yeah, exactly. So I honestly don't get why it was this huge deal. I think his ceiling is absurdly high. What makes it so crazy?
I think because you took him at 8.
Yeah,
Jordan
but
Love was a later
if
first.
McCarthy ends up going 8, are you talking with this much
If he went to the Falcons, yeah. Because
of the whole Kirk thing. You're talking about 8 with Kirk,
I'm talking about
combined.
8, yeah, and it being an 8. So when Jordan Love was taken, he was late 20s, right? When Aaron Rodgers was taken, he was late 20s as well. So the number 8 pick, that's a lot of draft capital for a guy that you're hoping only sits for a few years.
When Ben was taken, he was 11.
11,
Was
yeah.
it Cordell Stewart? Was he still there?
No, it was Tommy Maddox.
It was Tommy Maddox.
So it
they
wasn't
knew
as
was
strong
Ben.
of an incumbent.
I'm just trying to think of an organization that kind of had a plan in place. Alex Smith was basically on the way out and was
Patrick
one.
Mahomes,
So I can't think of one, I guess. So that is nuts. But at the same time, it's just how many backup quarterbacks did we just watch play this year?
A lot. And Kirk Cousins is coming off of an Achilles injury. It's not a minor.
And Kirk Cousins is
you've
also
had that surgery. You know what it's like.
It's hell. But he's also not this untouchable quarterback that I'm you know what I mean? He could overtake Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
if he is what they want him to be.
So, like, I think after the dust settled, I think it's not as shocking, but, you know, you think maybe why didn't they trade down, accumulate more picks, still take a quarterback? Like,
did you see the clip of, like, their GM talking to, was it Archie is their owner?
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith. Did you see
No,
that
Arthur
clip?
Blank.
Arthur Blank.
Yeah.
But did you see that clip?
No, I didn't.
It's so dumb because, like, they just drafted him, and he's, like, talking to him as if people, like, tried to turn it into, he's explaining why they made this move as if, like, he didn't know.
Yeah.
But it was just a funny clip. But, yeah, I mean, that's enough of the draft. We'll
Okay.
get there. Yeah.
All right, so let's get back into NBA playoffs. Do we want to have the tough conversation first?
Let's do that last.
All right.
Because there's been so many good games. Like, let's start on a fun note. First, the Pacers-Bucks game.
I mean, Pacers are going to win that series.
Let's do it this way. We'll go series by series.
All right.
Okay. First, like, we're going to be in agreement on most.
Let's start with the West,
but,
then.
All right, let's start with the West. So we're going to go Thunder Pelicans. We both think
Pelicans,
the Thunder.
Thunder, yeah.
Thunder are going to. It's like,
Yeah,
damn. It's like, okay, wow. Like, so we both think the Thunder are going to
Thunder,
win. Is there anything shocking in that series to you that has happened? Or
No.
I mean, the only thing that sticks out to me is, like, Thunder are going to be good for a long time.
And they have all those picks.
And the Pelicans are kind of shot and completely need it. Like, because they're not going to go through another year of just experimentation with the whole Ingram Zion stuff. And Zion's not even playing in the series. Brandon was benched, I think, in game 2. Like, just a lot of ugliness. They're kind of in the exact position I hate being in the NBA. Like, that NBA, like, purgatory or whatever you want to call it. Like, where it's like,
if
you're not too good, you're not too bad. Like, they're not going to get a top pick.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to have to deal one of these guys.
I mean,
so I see
you're not going to be able to deal Zion on that contract.
you're probably going to deal Brandon and just try to build a, like, new structure.
At least Zion.
Team. You might even deal CJ too. You might completely regroup. And I mean, I don't know. They're so far away from a championship team. So that's it in that series. Our fun series, Clippers, Mavs.
You're getting the better end of me right now.
I think so I think this one's a wrap as well. I think it's a wrap because of Kawhi's state of mind. He
only played 25 minutes. He's on a minutes restriction.
Complete shell of himself.
He doesn't look like Kawhi right now, unfortunately.
Looks like Ira Newble.
Ooh.
He did yesterday.
Yeah.
It was bad.
And Russell Westbrook's trying to punch people. Like,
that was out of control. There was so much chaos in that game, but the Mavs still annoy me, like the way that they act. And it's all Luka yesterday was actually pretty sly about it. Like, he somehow got it so that everybody in the Clippers got caught. Like, they were the second guy retaliating to everything, and they would get caught. But Luka wouldn't stop bitching again.
That's a style.
And he never got in trouble. He never got, they never said a word.
Well, superstars treatment.
He's unreal, dude. He's so good. And so Kyrie had his moments yesterday. Exactly what I told you in whatever episode that was. PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford and their athleticism switching onto these guys, and Derek Lively, they're crazy. They're defensively, they got it. Like, they figured it out to where that was the least amount of points I think the Clippers scored all year. And on top of that, I really don't think that they've played up to, like, their ceiling in the series only in this last game. Luka got into Luka mode. Kyrie, they were hitting on all cylinders, but game 1 and 2 they split playing poorly. So to me, I'm just going to reiterate that I'm sticking with my Mavericks versus Nuggets in that Western Conference Finals.
If Kawhi can look good in a Game 4 or Game 5, I think they could still make this a series. But it is concerning to see him on a minutes restriction, especially since he missed, the last week and a half of the season. This then puts, a lot more pressure on James Harden. Puts a lot of pressure on Paul George.
Fun, dude. We talked about it. His resurgence was fun, but, Russ,
he can't do that every game.
I don't know how much that game you got to catch, but Russ lost his mind. Now here's what was happening, okay? This happened 3 times in the game. I'm not exaggerating. Russ would have a hard contest on a block, okay? But he would hit the dude's head in the process, but he's clearly making a basketball play. They go to review. Russ is bitching, Mavs are bitching. That's just what's going on, okay? Waste of time, nothing personal. It happened a second time. It happens a third time. And then it got to the point where Russ was losing his mind because he felt like Luka, Josh Green, whoever it was just flopping every time. And then they were just sick of Russ because Russ was boxing basically instead of playing basketball. So I love that though. That's playoff basketball. It was sick.
And it's so much different than what we've seen in the regular season. It's been fun to watch.
No doubt. No, so nothing crazy there, right?
Right.
All right. Wolves Suns.
Wolves. I mean,
I feel like I called this one. I feel
did.
like I've been so far in the West. I'm feeling like it's 4 for 4 because I mean I refuse to believe the Suns are coming back
They're
from
not.
3-1. Bradley Beal's not Bradley Beal.
well, 3-0, right?
3-0. Yeah, but he's not. I watched that whole game last night. He's not comfortable at all.
No.
It's so weird. Him and Booker look so weird. They just like take turns.
It was like Booker and Durant took turns taking 15-foot fadeaway jumpers.
I got 2 fun questions. Here we go. So
And I was on the Suns.
yeah, I know.
And now I'm just like, Kevin
Durant.
This is myself.
Is Kevin Durant, is he over the hill? Is that done?
I mean,
You
he's
love the Dame
mid-30s.
talk. Yeah, but is he done? Like, is it never, will there ever be a time ever again where a team can contend for a championship with Kevin Durant being the best player on that
No.
team? What about second best player? Because, like, you could argue he's the second best player right now.
Probably not.
You don't, what? You think he's the best?
No. I think he would need to be the third best player on a team.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you think he's over the hill?
Now I do after watching
Yeah.
this. I mean, the youth of the T-Wolves is just shown. Like Anthony Edwards is
nuts.
attacking everything. In his press conference, he's saying, I'm just going to kill everything in
Yeah.
front of me.
He's the
You know,
man.
the Gobert's playing out of his mind. Cat. I mean, they're younger, they're more physical, they're stronger, they're better. And then they have a good veteran, Mike Conley, who can get these guys in great spots.
Yep.
So, you have that veteran on the floor who can say, okay, guys, I'm the adult. You go here, and kind of can control the game a little bit. And it's something that the Suns don't have. You have 3 guys who are
sure.
taking turns, just shooting the ball.
And they're not doing anything special schematically.
No.
Like there's a lot of ISO ball, just like ball screen action into ISO ball, and it's just not going to cut it against a team that good defensively. My other question with that series, fun one, Anthony Edwards, in his next 3 seasons where he's eligible, like let's say he plays 70-plus games, is he going to win an MVP?
Yeah.
Dude, he
Yeah.
he is so good.
And this is good for him because there was a lot of people when he was picked number 1 questioning
Yeah.
whether he should be the number 1 pick. They were saying he didn't have the drive. Did he even like basketball? I think he likes it.
Yeah, he's the man, dude. That's an easy one. Okay, cool.
And then we go
Lakers, Nugs. They're playing right
3-0.
now. They're playing right
It's
now.
over.
Yep. You think it's
done.
over?
It's over.
Yeah, it's
LeBron,
probably
you can come back to Cleveland.
over. All right, let's stop. What are you giving up for Bron?
I mean, depending on how our next conversation in the East goes, I mean, if Mitchell wants out, you could trade Mitchell for LeBron. You could trade Mitchell.
Is Bron waiving his no trade clause? Is this even a relevant
You could
conversation?
draft Bronny.
Yeah. Let's say you don't.
Well, no, you have to draft Bronny. It's kind of you gotta have to do both here.
It's a nuts. No, we're not doing that. Let's not go down
Maybe.
that road. I mean, maybe, but so Jokic has absolutely dominated the series, been the best player in the series. The Nuggets just remind me. They're reminding me in spurts. I'm not saying they're as elite, but of those Warriors teams. I mean, it's just you're waiting. Like they could be down 15 for 35 straight minutes, and you know that run's coming. Where Jamal hits 2 threes. MPJ goes,
And Aaron Gordon had a really
Aaron Gordon
nice
looked
game
like
the
a
other night,
star.
yeah.
He looked like a star. He looks like, honestly, like it's too.
He's the guy that the Magic thought they drafted.
I'm not trying to like throw legends' names out there loosely, but like he's got some like Rodman-esque motor, and then he changes the game without scoring, and then he scored. So then he was like really changing the game, and then we'll get to Mitchell Robinson later because that's who I feel like is the Rodman guy. But the Lakers to me, same boat as what I was talking about with the Pelicans. They can't do one more year of this. So what happens? Because LeBron's not over the hill. Like we know
No,
he's not
LeBron's
over the
still
hill.
elite.
So is it a thing about moving AD? Like, is it a thing?
Can you?
You're probably like, I don't even know what D'Lo's deal is right now, but there's
and
no
D'Lo,
way.
It shows that he didn't even go back to the huddle in Game 3. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Where they were huddling and D'Lo was just off to the side.
Yeah, I didn't.
And
see that.
he didn't go 10 feet near the huddle.
Sometimes I had. Like, was it one of those things though? Like, we're reading too much into it, or was it?
I mean, this is what we do. We're podcasting. We need to talk about something here.
You're like, yeah, D'Lo like stuck his tongue out at
D'Lo
Coach Ham. Like,
hates LeBron. No, I'm kidding.
yeah. So they're in shambles. That's it. But if LeBron wants to get another one and wants any type
He
of
might have to go
conversation, he has to
LA.
leave.
Yeah.
He just has to leave.
Now, what's interesting because LeBron's contract, he has the player option for $51 million.
Can I ask you if you were annoyed with? I know they're like viral clips and people are making too much out of it. So LeBron post game is, it's just basketball. It's just basketball. And I know people read into it too much because Giannis, when he says similar type things, people like praise Giannis and they kind of go. But I do hate those comments. Like it's not at the end of the day. I guess I gotta watch the full context in the interview, but how a consensus of people talk about it, like he's trying to kind of lower the level of the magnitude of what the game means and like how they've lost 11 in a row to these guys and stuff like that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it is just basketball.
I mean,
he has 4 championships. You know, he does a lot for the community. He's also more of a global icon.
Don't give me that community. We know.
Well, so, you know, LeBron.
We're not going to make this a LeBron
accomplished.
thing. All right. We're not going to make a LeBron thing.
I mean, he's on
my
your
point
Mount
is
Rushmore,
he
so.
has to leave. He is on my Mount
Yeah, he's a
Rushmore.
great player.
He has to
Come to
leave
Cleveland. Come back
to
home.
get number 5 or else, I mean, I feel like he has 2 more years of like this level or close to it. Like I think next year he's going to be just like this year.
Maybe they just get another year older.
Celtics Heat just finished up. Celtics whooped them.
Yeah, I mean, the Heat are so undermanned.
Yeah, they're just undermanned.
Celtics probably take care of this in 5.
Yep, you see the talent disparity. They got hot from 3 in the second quarter. Not really a series to me anymore. I was hoping that they'd spice it up and go up 2-1 and see if Game 4 would be interesting. I don't think they have a chance of winning Game 4. I just don't think they have enough offensive firepower.
Yeah.
Porzingis looks like he's Wemby out there, so it's just too much.
And then what? Let's go to Milwaukee, Indiana. Giannis is out. Lillard likely to be out Game 4.
These other 2 East series have been sweet. So up to this point, the Pacers series has been sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Halliburton making the big shot.
Yeah.
In Game 3.
It was like back to back big shots in game. Was that 4?
Game 3. Because it's 2-1.
2-1. So it starts off with Middleton tying the game on a 3 after Nesmith's 3, and then in OT, Middleton banks in a 3 to tie it, and then Nesmith's 3 was in regulation, but then Halliburton goes in the huddle and says, like, I'm ending this right now. This ends right now. Hits an and 1 for the game. Like, it's sick. So here's this coming out party. They're gonna win the series because there's no Dame and no
Dame
Giannis.
in Game 4, yeah.
But this is just the beginning for the Pacers, dude, and they're the way that they're playing, like. There's no doubt that they can make a run to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Because
no
they would
doubt.
Play the winner of
New York
and
Philly. Why can't they? They're just as good as those guys. They are.
I think Philly would beat them with Embiid.
I don't know, dude. It's a different pace, and Embiid's breathing heavy after 4 times down the court.
Well, he just dropped 50 with Bell's palsy. Come on.
Correct. I'm not. Embiid's gonna average is 35, and they might lose in that series. Like that.
Fair.
But
they still have to beat New York. I mean, New York's up 2-1. You know, Philly made a great stand the other night. You know,
yep.
Embiid 50 points. The energy in that crowd was.
We'll get with the Bucks. Okay.
Okay.
Do you think the Bucks are going to revamp, or are they going to run it back one more time with this group, like with Dame Giannis? Is what I mean. Dame Giannis Middleton is what I mean by this group. I agree. That's it. That's all I want to say about them. But Knicks Sixers, I don't think the Sixers come back just because. Legs. Like every single time down the court, I think Embiid's going to be hurt. Maxey, when he's not sparking, if he doesn't go on like a 10-2 run, 8-0 run himself, they don't. Same thing with not having enough offensive firepower. Tobias isn't cutting it. I don't like their 3 through 8, and I just think the Knicks have too much. They play so hard. They're the hardest playing team in the league.
That's Tom Thibodeau.
Without question, they get too many second chances, even with no Mitchell Robinson, no Julius Randle. I think they are just the better culture, better team, and they're just more consistent, and they're going to finish the series.
I think Philly will make this a series. I think Philly's going to win Game 4. I think at home, they feel good about themselves. I think Embiid has another big game. Slight edge to the Knicks in the series, but it would not surprise me if Embiid gets them through this because of what you were saying. You know, Randall's out. Mitchell Robinson's out. You know, Embiid can go on a run, and Embiid is at least – relatively fresh. So he missed all those games. I mean, he's back now.
If the Knicks play the Pacers, who wins that series?
Pacers.
And then you think the Sixers?
Philly, yeah.
Okay, it's interesting.
I mean, what do I know? Like,
Yeah, clearly you're wrong about
Oh, come on.
All right, Cavs. You go first.
Game 5 could be a franchise-altering type game for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just got smacked 2 games in Orlando. Both third quarters, they didn't even look like a basketball team. They were up 60-51 today. Looked pretty good. Mitchell was looking good. Mobley had like 12 at half, and then everything just fell apart. Magic were hitting some shots, out-physicaling us, and we just didn't look like we were running anything offensively. It was like dribble, 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 shoot. Okay. We're not getting anything out of Niang, Okoro, LeVert, and even Strus has been this series. And the big question is, why aren't we adjusting? Why isn't Marcus Morris getting in the game? Why isn't somebody else? You're doing the same thing, JB. It ain't working. You got to make an adjustment sometime. Now, I do think we could win Game 5. I think a Cleveland home crowd neutralizes some things, and we do play better at home. But it's getting very, very frustrating that we're not making any adjustments, and we're just letting the Magic go on these big runs in the second half, and then we just lie down and die.
Yeah. 100%, the most important statement you made is Game 5 will be altering to me if they lose.
Yeah.
If they win, I don't think it's doing anything right now in the immediate future. But if they lose that game, win or lose for the series, it's going to be hell.
If they lose Game 5, there's no way they win Game 6.
Yeah, it's going to be a different coaching staff. You're going to probably.
You might have to. Mitchell might get traded.
There's so much.
Maybe Garland, but I don't know if you even get anything for Garland.
So 33-5 run today.
Yep.
The Magic go on. The thing that's alarming from a culture perspective is they just feel like a front-running group. When the going's good, they're really good, and when the going gets tough, they just lie down and die. And they did that in the Knicks series. This is such a I think this was 4 days ago when we were just talking about Cavs Celtics because we looked like a different team. But we did talk about how hopefully the Cavs aren't on the road to what the Browns were on the road and just not, it looks like a completely different group. They honestly had so many moments in the game where they looked like they lied down and quit.
Yep.
I was crediting JB in Game 2 because remember that 5-minute spurt of Merrill when he went 0 for 3 or whatever? I was like, good, that's how teams win. You mix it up. You give them things to think about.
Yeah, because Merrill at least got hot. Okay, now you know that's working. If not, you pull him.
The same way that they give Joe Ingles 5 minutes and they give Cole Anthony 5 minutes and these random guys who might change a game, and they somewhat do in spurts.
For me in this, I think you got to play Marcus Morris.
I think you have to play Merrill. We shot 17 threes today.
How many did we make? 4?
4. And Niang hasn't made a shot. When we signed Niang, me and you repeatedly were saying, if Niang is in our playoff rotation, we're going to have issues. And to me, it just feels like this is this year's version of Danny Green.
Yeah.
Last year, we actually gave Danny Green playoff minutes last year. And this whole playoff Niang thing is comical because, okay, cool. He provided some energy and a spark with Paolo in Game 1 and started screaming and all that stuff. At some point, it can only take you so far.
Right.
You
have to hit a shot.
He's literally, I don't even know how many threes he shot, but he's 0 from 3.
Yeah.
As Haywood was actually saying earlier today, all he does is once in a blue moon makes these YMCA layups when he's moving in slow motion. He gets beat off the bounce repeatedly by guys who you should Franz Wagner or one of these guys that aren't these shifty guys. If he's not picking you up in the mid post, he's getting beat.
Right.
If he
doesn't have the foot speed.
Yeah. If he's picking you up on the perimeter, he's getting beat. It's insane. It's insane how much we're relying on him.
Yeah.
And LeVert.
I didn't think we would only have an 8-guy rotation.
It's our strength all year that we changed ourselves by shooting threes. Mm-hmm. We were forced to play the Craig Porters and the Sam Merrills. We were hitting them at an outrageous clip because we were stretching the court.
Yep.
And now it's you just go away from everything that works from you. You're playing this very slow pace. We were already a slow-paced team, but we switched that very fast when Garland went down, actually.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy. It's crazy.
And what's interesting, in the first half, they sped it up. They were getting up and down the floor, and then they just stopped doing it.
Yep.
They stopped getting it to Allen inside. It was just a lot of mid-range jumpers, a lot of missed threes, And then once they got punched in the face, they're like, okay, we'll go to game 5.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of everybody. Coaching staff, obviously, this is not even close to acceptable.
No.
Like, it's fireable. Like, coaches have been fired for way less in the last year.
Yeah.
Like, coaches of the year have been fired. Like, there's that. Mitchell was disappointing in the second half.
You wonder how much that knee was bothering him.
Maybe, yeah, because it looked like he kind of shunned away a little bit
Yeah.
instead of like picking guys up like 45 feet and ripping them
He
in the
didn't
first
take
half
his
and
first
locking
shot
in.
until like 8 minutes into the
Just weird.
4 minutes into the third. It was strange.
Questionable decision making by Garland, even though I thought he had an elite first quarter. I thought he was
Yeah.
so good in the beginning of the game. Mobley's still shooting some weird ones. I honestly will bite my tongue a little bit on Jared Allen. I think
He showed up.
he was okay. He was good today, but he has been the least of our problems in the series,
Yeah.
obviously. And then, like, yeah, I agree with you on the Strus Okoro stuff, but let me defend Okoro a little bit. I think Okoro should be a guy that we rely on, that we play a lot, and you accept his offensive
Deficiency, yeah.
because it's not even.
Because he's at least bringing you something defensively on the floor. It's not like Niang, who, if he's not shooting, he really doesn't
He's bringing
help
you elite level
Yeah.
defense, though, like as high as it gets. Every possession, treat it like how the Nuggets treat Aaron Gordon. Take his defensive deficiencies and understand that you're getting a guy who's never taking a possession off.
Yeah.
He's going to get you extra, he's going to get you offensive boards. He's going to leak out in transition. You got to take the good with the bad. And I'm taking the good with the bad with
Yeah.
Okoro and not George Niang.
Right.
Like, even if it means him guarding Paolo. Like, what? Mobley was doing a great job
Yeah.
on Paolo. Okoro is going to force him to shoot over high contests in the mid post. Like, we know what it is. Let it happen.
Yeah.
And live with it. Like, you drafted this guy at 5. He's in a contract year. He showed so much improvement last year. And all year we regretted not playing him against the Knicks and sticking him on Brunson. And now it just feels like we're just making these crazy mistakes
Yeah.
against a team that we should be talking about them not being ready for this moment.
Right. And, give the Magic credit. Down 0-2, they knew, hey, keep playing physical against the Cavaliers. Keep hitting them in the mouth. Keep hitting the mouth. Eventually they might break. And so far we did break in Games 3 and Game 4. But we head back to Cleveland.
Do you think a guy like Tristan, even in a 2-3 minute spurt, could provide a spark like Mo Wagner did today, where they just come in and start screaming and losing their mind? Mo Wagner came in, started acting like, kind of like he did in Game 1 and Game 2, like all over the place when he looked stupid.
Yeah, I mean, he took Mobley in the post early second quarter, posted him up, got the bucket, fired up.
Whoa. Go ahead.
Oh, gotta keep that on mute during the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I wouldn't mind to see Tristan get more playing time. I would prefer to go Marcus Morris, just because he might actually punch someone, and Marcus Morris could shoot.
Yeah.
But you do need to make some adjustment going into Game 5.
You got to do
something. But
and stop ending every possession with the ball in Karras. It's always
Karras' ISO game has been pretty bad.
It's a re-screen with Jared Allen and Mitchell, or it's Karras and a shot clock, or Garland and a shot clock middle ball screen action with a guy in the wing and 2 guys in the corner. And that's all it is.
Well, next pod, if things go bad, we might be talking about a new coach. So.
I know. I mean, it's so what happens? I said Cavs in 6 in the beginning, so I guess I shouldn't be too.
I think it's the way.
It's the way it's happening.
I think if they would have lost 198 and had a shot to win in the game, we would have been like, let's get back to Cleveland. Let's restore order. Let's win this in 6.
Because at the end of the day, you're talking winning championships. And I promise you that I would actually love to know this. I don't even know how we could look it up, but has there ever been an NBA champion who's lost a back-to-back playoff games? The Cavs just did, like a 38 ball, followed by a 30.
2016 championship team might have. I mean, they got drilled
38.
They got drilled by the Warriors a couple of those games. All the games in that series, other than Game 7, were double digits.
Them in Game 6, though.
We throttled them in Game 6.
I think you're over-exaggerating how big
Game 2,
was.
I think we got throttled.
Game 1. Is this going to break the Guinness World Record for the amount of times throttled?
Maybe. I mean, they beat us pretty bad.
43. So, Game 6, 115, 101, 112, 97. Game 4, 108.97 at our place. Game 3, we beat them
won.
30. Game 2, okay, there was a bad
Game
one.
2, they
So
destroyed us.
33.
Yeah, so that team
Lost
won a
by
championship. Or you look at,
It's just like, well, they lost by 15 in Game 1. It's not the same, though. You're
you lost by 30
yeah,
in
yeah.
Game 2
I understand.
to the Warriors.
You're also arguing the 73-win Warriors and the rookie Magic, who are
Right, no.
like, so what are we?
But you asked me a question. You didn't put those parameters on it. And also, weren't there – I mean, I know we're talking about the LeBron years, so, like, it's a different situation. But there's some times against Indiana, they beat us by 25-30.
Right.
But let's get back to Cleveland. Let's get a great home crowd. If you're going to the game, I think I'm going to the game. Be loud. Don't let them see your fear. and go Cavs.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't even know when they're playing.
They're playing, I think, Tuesday.
All
right. So I think we went through all the series, right?
Yeah.
All right. So our fun topic of the day: when you cook a steak, how do you cook it?
Well, I'm not a psychopath, so
Okay.
medium rare, medium.
Oh no, I'm talking about like how do you?
What do you mean? Like how? Like medium rare? I thought that's what you meant. What did you mean by this question?
like? Do you use a grill? Do you
I'd rather grill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about how do you like it cooked?
Oh, because this is how I do it.
All right, let me hear.
All right.
What we're about to have.
So I take the steak and I usually get it
Gordon
from like a butcher.
Ramsay.
Oh,
There we go.
you know what? Fine.
No, go. You go to a local butcher.
You're
I like
welcome.
this.
You're welcome, everyone. For
I
these
like
tips.
this.
So, get a nice steak. When I take it out, I then pat it dry, and I season it, and then I let it sit for 30 minutes, and that's key because you want it to get dry.
What kind of steak is this?
I usually like to cook like a sirloin, a ribeye.
I'm like always just going with a straight fillet because I just love fillet.
I like ribeye, a sirloin. Sometimes I'll do a Denver steak. I have that in my fridge right now.
What is that?
Oh, it's steak. It's me. I don't know.
You don't even know what that is.
It's good.
All right, Jokic.
So dry it out, put the seasoning, let it sit for 30 minutes. Then what I do is I get a cast iron skillet, and I put it on the stovetop, and I get some butter. And I put butter in the pan, get it real nice and almost like a pool of butter.
Okay.
And then I put the steak down, and I sear it about 2 minutes on each side.
Okay.
But while I'm doing that, I take a brush, and I brush butter around the steak. So it's not just sitting there. You get it all over the steak. I flip, do the same thing, put a little bit more butter on it, and then I throw it in the oven for 5 minutes.
Got it.
And then I make sure after it's done, it's like a medium, and then I serve it. Let it cool for a few minutes and serve it. So I don't
At what temp?
like 125, 130.
So like medium.
Yeah,
Medium.
yeah. I don't like using the grill because I feel like there's better temperature control on the oven and the skillet than going outside.
So this is like, I guess I first off understood your question completely wrong. So I do some of that stuff,
All right.
but I'm not as like detailed and meticulous and
I can
complex.
make 3 things well. That is one of them.
So I will say, like, I'll show you some pics when we get off here. Like,
All
I
right.
make a mean fillet.
All right.
But I it's like messed up because I just kind of freelance it. Like every time though. So it's always Heinen's fillet.
Okay.
And then like I'm obviously gonna sear the edges.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna put it in the oven at the end. I like the whole skillet. Like we have one. I don't know why I don't use that.
Cast iron skillets are
I
great.
should be using that.
Yeah.
Like so there you go. I'm gonna up it already.
Yeah, I got to up it.
No, I think I make it well. I just salt, pepper, and Montreal steak seasoning on it. That's all I really put. And then I don't use no A1 or anything like that.
I don't use A1 at all
Doctor it
either.
up.
No.
I just want, yeah.
If your steak's good enough, it should be good enough.
Give
on
me
its
some
own.
garlic mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
If you can get me a lobster tail on the side.
Oh.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Hot butter.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all that stuff. But did you answer? Medium? Like, is medium your preferred steak? Like
Medium
all
or
steak?
medium rare, yeah.
Okay. So what about burgers?
Medium.
I'm like burgers medium, fillets medium
I like
rare.
ground beef a little bit more cooked.
Okay, that's fair. I agree with that.
Because a steak is a nicer cut.
I agree with that. One time we were in Amsterdam and we went to this like restaurant with Mackie that he apparently this was like a famous restaurant and this is like where all the celebrities go when they go there. So you get there and it's just a piece of paper and I'm not kidding, it says in whatever language in English, it says fish and steak and you can't order anything else.
That's amazing.
And you can't pick how you want it done.
Because they have it one way.
And yeah, that's it. So
yeah, those high-end places aren't going to cater to you.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They're like, this person ate here, this person ate here. But the steak came out rare. It was amazing. It was the best thing I've like ever had. But it's just a random story that popped in my head.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
All right.
Would you ever go there?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm going this summer to a few days in Ireland and 4 or 5 days in Belgium.
Paris Friday for me.
Oh, we got to test the Zoom for the next
We're
pod.
going to have to do the next pod on Zoom.
We'll be international, Beyond Ball International.
What is going on here? ESPN has to relax. So what? Just keep playing videos. We'll do the Zoom. We'll probably be done with the first round at that point.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be watching playoff games at like 2 a.m. and 3 a.m.
because it's a 6-hour difference.
If it's still there, even if that series is still going on. Might not even be going on.
What?
It's probably done by then. Cavs Magic.
Oh, I thought you were talking about other series.
Other series. All of them. First round's probably going to
Yeah.
be mostly done. So we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
See you in
you're gonna
Paris.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Bon voyage.
Je ne sais pas.
That means
What
I
else
don't
to
know.
say?
Bonjour.
Shoot it, baby. Shoot it.